Track Assistant is Neutron's signature feature. It's an intelligent analysis and auto mix function that can be used either to do some of the mixing for you, or simply to generate a quick and helpful starting point for your own manual mixing moves. As I've mentioned previously, less experienced mixers, maybe artists and producers who don't yet have the skills they need to build up a mix from scratch on their own, may find the mixing choices made by Track Assistant to be all they need to have a presentable mix, with a few minor additional tweaks here and there. More experienced mixers will certainly want to apply their own hard-earned skills to the mix, but they should still also find Track Assistant to be a very useful tool, one that can get the mix started quickly and efficiently, without them having to devote a lot of time and energy to the sometimes tedious initial steps of setting up a new mix. Track Assistant can set up an appropriate processing chain and make useful settings, getting the mix to a presentable state, and at that point, the mixer can come in with fresh ears and build on that until he's achieved exactly the mix he wants. Most mixing-oriented plugins provide presets towards this end, but Neutron's take on that here is kind of a track-specific preset. Instead of just a collection of generic, possibly useful settings, Neutron's Track Assistant analyzes the audio on the track and makes comprehensive settings specific to that audio in that particular track. The result is a kind of unique, customized preset, which will make for a much more useful starting point. The process couldn't be simpler. A click on the Track Assistant button tells Neutron to begin analyzing the audio. Once you hit play, it takes between 4 and 10 seconds to do this, and then the progress graphic should disappear and the settings will have been made. A note on this though. If you have a track that has different parts in it, or very different sounding sections, you may want to consider two things. For the best results, make sure you play a section of the track that's most representative of the overall sound of the track. Don't have Neutron analyze a bridge section where the part is loud and aggressive if everywhere else in the song that track is quiet and lightly played. And if a track does have drastically different sections, just as with any manual mixing you might do, it might not be a bad idea to divide the part among a couple of different tracks. Give a couple of instances of Neutron a better chance to analyze the different sounding sections and make appropriately different settings. You don't want to assume that because there's an intelligent analysis being done, that somehow it can account for everything or magically perform feats that couldn't be done, although more tediously, by hand. Once Track Assistant is finished analyzing and setting up a track, you'll see that it's done several things. It's identified the type of instrument as a guide to creating and applying the most appropriate processing. Different intelligent algorithms are used for each instrument type to generate the most appropriate processing choices. It's enabled some or all of the processing modules and arranged them in what its intelligent algorithms have deemed to be the best processing order. Then, within each module, it's placed EQ nodes and dialed up appropriate settings, including dynamic EQ bands, based on its analysis of instrument types, harmonic content, resonance, sibilance, and other aspects of the audio, in accordance with its specific intelligent algorithms. It's decided on single-band or multi-band operation, and if the latter is chosen, set up what it's determined to be the appropriate number and range of bands. It set compressor thresholds based on RMS analysis, and made basic settings based on the dynamics of the track, and again, on the detected instrument type, in accordance with its own intelligent templates. It's determined if any saturation from the exciter is called for, and what type of coloration might be suitable. Currently, only one module, the Transient Shaper, is not included in Track Assistant's analysis and auto setup. And finally, Track Assistant will have enabled the appropriate neutrino mode. But even if it's selected Clean mode, which bypasses any neutrino processing, all the rest of the processors will still have been set up, just using a more generic intelligent algorithm rather than one of the specific instrument algorithms. All the settings are determined interactively, so each module's contribution should work well in combination with the others. Once Track Assistant has been applied to all the tracks it'll be used on, then the mixer can go in, look things over, and take it from there. Novices might simply want to do a little reverse engineering to get ideas about how to use the various processors. Experienced mixers will certainly decide to change some settings and maybe remove or add certain effects, and generally fine-tune to taste, jumping right into that creative, fun stage of mixing. Even though the Track Assistant analysis and auto setup is all automatic, there are some user options available to control its behavior. I'll pick up there in the next clip.